So hello and welcome to week 4, and in this week we will cover scene assembly. Now I thought it best to start this week just by explaining a little bit about what scene assembly is for anyone who is not familiar with the concept, and what scene assembly means for me on a day-to-day basis as an environment artist. Now the first thing to understand is that although we will be covering a lot of complex techniques and learning the general process within Houdini, your job first and foremost is to take direction either from the director or the art director and try your best to match any concept art or references that are supplied to you. This week we will begin by looking at creating masks so we can generate our scatters, and this might be generating them within Houdini or using texture maps. We will then move on to bringing in assets from outside of Houdini and placing them around. In the most part, these will be from Megascans, and this is important as it's a big part of scene assembly, taking other artists' assets and bringing them into your scene. And finally, we will move on to lighting. Now, it is not always your job as an environment artist to light the scene. That will be ultimately the job of the lighting artist. But depending on which studio you would like to work for, this may be something that is required from you. And I personally very much enjoy lighting my own scene. And in a lot of studios, definitely within Axis Studios, this is encouraged. So it's definitely worth covering here. Now this is a pretty simple scene to light, but we will make a point of exploring all the settings in the Arnold light. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover. Just a little bit about what we will be looking at this week. So again, importing and processing assets, creating masks and scatters, enriching the scene, or otherwise making sure our assets all live believably in the same world, and finally setting up some environment lights. Now, on the website, it did mention that we may cover texturing and shading this week, but I felt it best to just leave that within a shading week, because we will have to cover the trees and the geometry as well as anything that we are using here. Okay, so in the first lesson, we will jump in and start creating some masks. Thank you.